A lot of martial arts societies are usually very bad at training their warriors correctly. If any martial arts society has some type of measuring device, they'll usually put you in a high, medium, or low class. And if you're low, you're getting no help whatsoever, while the medium and the high definitely get the help, especially the high, which is weird because the high classes usually have some type of primary purposeful tutor that helped them before they even got into whatever academy you're going into. And that person is usually of a high level of an A or something to that effect, so they don't reasonably need any resources, but they get them regardless. The low levels are interesting because they usually end up having to find a way to level up, which is finding a master that is just a weirdo or getting some type of magical item or regressing. And the regressor is the biggest factor here because it's a combination of the first two as well as going back to your younger body. Now, a lot of regressors live for a very long time and they're able to figure out that everything they've learned prior to becoming an adult is pretty much wrong. And you find out based on their history that they were essentially learning the wrong elements or the wrong martial arts to begin with. So you were supposed to be learning fire instead of water, and you were considered a dunce because you were literally learning the wrong martial arts. And it turns into this weird situation now where when you go back in time, you're able to correct all of that because you're now given a master that comes in the form of yourself and all of your experiences. I've even seen people regress and still have a hard time learning certain factors because they were unable to read certain books or something to that effect because they weren't given the proper education to be able to do so in the first place. On the other side of this, the magical portion of this usually is a lot better. When dealing with magic, they measure your battle power, they tell you what elements that you're actually good in, and then they put you in a generic class. The only difference here being is that obviously the nobles are going to get a better education, but at least you have a good enough foundation to get you somewhere. And then you look at the martial arts graduations. Basically speaking, in the real world, you would have about 60 to 80% of people leaving a prestigious school with A's. But in the martial arts world, about only 10% will leave there with A's and B's. And most of the people that were A's were already A's when they got into there, so it doesn't even make sense. It's so bad that there's a story who I can't really fully remember where our side lost so badly that you start to kind of question how were they preparing. The other side, lowest ranking warrior, was a high mid-range warrior who was able to decimate about 70% of our side of the war. And when he started to lose breath, it was too late for us. His friend stepped in and it was just done. I don't even remember the story well enough to tell you how we ended up winning in the end. It was just a large amount of plot armor, I guess, because we got beaten really bad. It was almost to a point of extinction. At the end of the day, these martial arts societies are just really bad at their whole job. They end up causing more damage to their warriors than good, where a warrior would have been able to just travel the world and learn stuff. And this includes my favorite one of all time, which are the Saiyans. But I'll talk about that in another post. So till next time, I'm out of here. Peace.